Good morning. It's day 5. It's not quite 7 in the morning. Boy, the weather's done quite the change around. The wind is 180 degrees opposite of what it's been for the last 5 days. It rained again last night. After the thunder showers, it got sunny. It rained, it got sunny, and then it rained consistently maybe till about 1 o'clock. But the good thing was it was a rain with no wind, so it was straight down. It was light to moderate at times. The sun's coming out. It looks like it's going to be a sunny day, so that'll give a chance to dry things off. That's going to be my priority this morning. If you remember yesterday, I I put the tent out on the rock and I took everything out to air out and dry off. Well, I thought the tent was wetter than it really was, but in the middle of that it started raining, so I had to scramble to set the tent up and everything. It was a very comfortable night. There was no water inside the tent. I moved it to a different place, a higher spot. The spot where it was a low spot. And again, as I showed you yesterday, at one point there was like this much water right where my tent was. It's a good thing I decided to move the tent. It's a little bit chilly by my standards. It's probably only 16, maybe 17. But give it an hour or two and it'll warm up nicely, I'm sure. Boy, if the wind was going this way when I leave here, it's going to be great because it's basically that way all the way home. But I think according to the weather report, it's going to change again back to the normal direction, but very light, assuming the forecast is correct. Just brewing up a coffee. All the ground is damp and wet. All my stuff is dry. Pretty dry. See, it's all under the tarp. A bunch of stuff I tied down in the hammock. The other stuff is hanging. So, first thing this morning, get everything dry. Well, that's the weather that's coming at me. 180 from previous days. It's a pretty good breeze. Of course, where my campsite being on the point, you can get protected from either side. I've got things kind of airing out. A bit later I'll do the tent and stuff. Hopefully it'll get a little bit sunnier. It's sunny for a while now. The sun's covered with a big cloudy patch. Pretty good wind going. Well, this isn't the best of weather, but it's not the worst of weather either. It's not raining. You can't always have it your way. Actually, it could be a nice day anyway, but yesterday was a bit of a challenge with all the heavy rain. The heavy windy rain, that was what was the challenge. It's kind of tough when the rain is coming at an angle because it's hard to hunker down under a tarp, for instance, because you still get wet. When it's coming straight down, well, it's easy. You got to be prepared for everything. If you can't take the rain, can't take the bad weather, well, you shouldn't be out here, should you? I got a rave about these Bushnell waterproof binoculars. Again, no fog. They were out in the rain and they work just fine. And a good value for money too, because these were only $75–80. These are the H2O 10x25s. I think there's some 8x25s which are pretty well the same. And these are a perfect size for you know, for what I'm doing in a boat or when you're hiking. I've got some full-size binoculars that I take with me. I have been taking with me in the desert in Saudi Arabia, and that's probably at least a kilo. That's another 2 pounds. These things, I'm guessing at the weight, but I know they're under a pound. They're probably 9 or 10 ounces, which is manageable. I'm just looking over at the Donald Scott portage over there. If anybody's coming, it is too early, I would think. It seems that everybody must have got the heads up about the weather about yesterday, because I didn't see anybody come in from that way or this way. I just saw people leaving. And considering it's the weekend now, it's Saturday morning, I would have thought it would have been fairly busy. But it is still early now. It's only not even 7:30, I guess. So I'm just working my way up to probably eating some breakfast. I got a dehydrated oatmeal raisin and peanut butter. I think that's what it is, and I've had it before. It's good. I had some dehydrated chili last night under the tarp while it was raining. I didn't have the camera out because it was raining so much, but it was good. I tried to during a lull between the rains, I tried to have a fire. It started up, and then the night rain started. The steady drizzle straight down, so the fire just dampened out. And that's about when I decided to go to bed after I had the chili. It was about 9:30, I suppose. It was still a bit light. I wanted to get in bed before it got dark, just to get everything organized in there. That was snug as a bug in a rug. You know, that tent with a footprint and the rain fly seems to do the job. The only thing I'm thinking of changing, I may upgrade to the two-person. That's the Copper Spur HV high volume UL ultra lightweight one-person tent. So I'll have to see what the difference in price is between the one-person and the two-person. It would be nice to have the extra room for stuff, rather than keeping a lot of this stuff under the tarp. It could get wet, it could blow away. It would be nice if I had a little more room inside the tent. As it is, the tent, the one man with the stakes, weighs around, well, with the stakes that come with it, I think 2 pounds 12 ounces, but I bought 6 more stakes, so it's probably getting close to almost 3 pounds. Well, I'm on the calm side of the island now, in the lee, out of the wind. The wind's coming this way. Only thing is the sun hasn't reached this side yet, so it's a bit cooler. This is a nice spot. This is my bathing hole. That's where I've been launching the boats. This lake is shaped like an L. This is one arm, the short arm of the L, and it goes that way. And way, way, way at the very end of it, you have the portage into Kukagami Lake. 1 kilometer portage, and then Kukagami goes roughly this way. And I have to go right to the very end of it into the last big bay. I think the lake goes on slightly more after that. I'm going to Klondike Bay, so it'll be around 7 kilometers on that lake. So we're looking at 14, 15k, 16k. Not tomorrow, Monday. Well, I trimmed my nails a bit earlier. They were getting long. And now I'm having trouble getting my Leatherman open. So there's pro tip, camping pro tip. If you're going to trim your nails, keep one a little bit longer if you have a Leatherman or such a device. I have to do my toenails later. It's just, I had the clippers out, but I got my boots on and I don't want to take them off right now, so I'll do my toenails a bit later. It's 16 degrees. I'm cool. So, I'm not going to take my clothes off. I'm just going to put a puffy on underneath. Test it out, see how good a job it does. This is a Uniqlo, I got it in the Philippines. It's Japanese, I believe. It's nice and light. It's a good travel jacket, or whatever you want to call it, because it packs up so light. Probably going to be sweating soon, you'll see, but I am a bit chilly even with all this stuff on. Something about this Fallkniven zipper I don't like. It's a double zipper, but I don't know if there's a knack to do it. I'll have to find out, but it just won't snap into place. There we go. I'm alone. I'm all alone. Well, I'm battening some wood so I can get a fire going a bit later. This should be good kindling. I'll set it out to dry.
Got me a Fallkniven S1. It doesn't seem to be stainless steel because it's got a few little rust spots on it from the rain last night. I guess I need to treat it with an oil or keep it treated, keep it slightly oily, but I don't know. But it's working on this wood fine. Oh, that's a hard piece. Ugh. Haven't seen any boats this morning. It's the weekend and everybody stayed away, it seems. You need to have a good pair of gloves too. This is just a pair of Dakota 100% leather work gloves. You need something that's not going to burn or melt when you put it near a fire. Well, that should be more than enough to get a few fires going, I would think. I'm going to make firewood out of the old thunder box. This is an old rotting one. I used some of the wood for a fire the other day. At the same time, I got a whole bunch of birch bark that'll get the fire going. There's a new fire pit. Let's fill up with birch bark in anticipation. A lot of rocks hanging around, and that was a natural spot to do it. Here's the kindling I just cut. There's some bigger logs. There's the outhouse. So hopefully this stuff will get wind dried throughout the day. I'm not quite sure when I'll have the fire, if I'll wait for tonight or not. This is left over from last night before it started raining. Now all the paper and shit that's in there, if it doesn't burn, I sift through the fires before I leave and I take it all bits and pieces. There was a tin can in there. Looks like it's been around a long time. I'll probably take that out with me. Well, I will take that out with me. Well, it's time for breakfast, even though it's 10:30. I've got Backpacker's Pantry hot peanut butter and raisin oatmeal cereal. I've had this before, it's good. So the first thing is it takes 1 cup of water. Let's just see how long 1 cup is going to take to boil on my MSR Pocket Rocket 2. There we go. 4 minutes 44 seconds for a rolling boil for that's about 10 ounces of water. The recipe calls for 1 cup, which is 8 ounces, but I just made a bit extra just in case I need to add it. So give it a good stir. Get that peanut butter mixed up. rolled up the two vestibules to let some air into the tent. Not that it's really damp, but whatever, this should help.
Okay, time for the taste test. Well, I know how it's going to taste. It's going to taste damn good. I think this was $6.50 to $7. Breakfasts are usually a bit cheaper than the main courses. Yeah, this is my favorite so far for breakfast. I've got scrambled eggs or something maybe I'll have tomorrow morning. Boy, this is thick. Well, I'll add just a touch more water. This is quite the substantial breakfast. I'd give this one the thumbs up. If you like oatmeal, you like peanut butter. This is supposed to have raisins. It does have raisins, but it doesn't have many. Okay, what is Rod wearing today? Okay, it's fashion time. Well, at the top I've got a Cabela's hat with a Canadian flag on it. I've got a Fallkniven cap jacket. It's got flaps on the side. You can vent, let air in and out. It's got double zipper. So I usually have it up like this. It's got two pockets here, and it's got a pocket here. It doesn't have normal pockets down here because it's made for a pack sack where you can't get at them. It's got Velcro on the sleeve end so you can tighten her up. Okay, this is great. I've got Fallkniven Pro Vita brown trousers. Pockets. Has no back pockets. Not sure the reason behind that one. I've got an MK web belt. It dries quicker than leather. I used to have leather. I've got a green long sleeve Columbia PFG shirt. This is great because you can wear it over something, plus you can just wear it by itself as a protection from the sun, for instance. Underneath I have a Under Armour t-shirt. Okay, it dries really quickly, that's what I like about it. I've got a pair of, is it NSR river boots? NRS river boots. They're made to get wet. They're made to work around the river. They're really comfortable. They're good for paddling because the soles aren't too hard. Okay, boots for all the normal size boots. And underneath right now I'm just wearing a pair of under hiking socks. You know, just the really, really light ones to stop you from getting blisters that you would wear under a pair of hiking socks. One thing I found with these boots, because they're new, and two, I ordered them online. This is a size 8. When I wear a normal pair of my waterproof socks, they're a little bit tight on the toes. Now boxers, I've got Under Armour merino wool. Black. They dry really quickly. I've washed them, the same as the t-shirt. Both of them I've dunked in water, rinsed, and I've hung them up, and they dried in half a day. Now, the trousers, the jacket, the Columbia shirt, the hat, I've treated with permethrin, insect repellent. It supposedly it kills it gets at the bugs by killing their central nervous system, and they just fall down dead. I've also treated my tent with it. You can't get it in Canada, but you can order it from the States. I ordered it from Amazon. 2 big spray bottles cost $30. To ship it to Ottawa costs another $50, but I think it was well worth it. I love this jacket. I was just thinking, today is like fall weather. So, rod struts, hoses, return, rear view. This is camp fashion at its highest. Spin. It's day 5, so Rod is starting to think of things to do. Plus I'm kind of just staying around camp today. I got the fire all sorted for tonight. Any of the wood that I chopped is kind of air drying. The tent is airing out. I think the next thing I just need to do is open up the hammock and lie around. Let me just do one more walk. Okay. These clothes are really comfortable. I think the only place at the moment you can get this stuff in Ottawa is a paddle shack. Paddle shack? Whatever the hell it's called. But I noticed right across the road from MEC in Ottawa, there's a Fallkniven opening soon. So there will be a dedicated store in Ottawa. The stuff ain't cheap, but it is good. I mean, this is the best outdoor jacket I've ever had in my life. And it's, I would say it's a 3-season jacket. Oh, I think it's time to shave, but I won't do that till I get home. Ottawa, I mean. Last night I just rolled a whole bunch of stuff up in the hammock. Because it was raining. Just raining straight down, so this was a good way to protect it. I made a few adjustments to the tarp yesterday. I moved this up a little bit. It was a bit low. And the middle ones I also moved up because previously it would be hitting my head. Well, it just barely does now, but it was quite a bit lower. Same as on this end. So really what I've discovered is you want to be able to stand under at least half your tarp, but you also want it to be angled. The rain was all draining from mostly here. There's a big puddle right here from the rain. It was going all the way down and coming here. At one point when it first started raining, I had the hammock hooked up to this tree, and every time this drained it would go on the hammock. So I think I'm just gonna probably laze around the hammock, maybe have a few nips. I've got sake and Bailey's cream and Bailey's Irish cream and PJ's salted caramel Irish cream. My nose is running a little bit today. This is just like fall weather. It's kind of funny because it got really warm, you know, the last few days. I wouldn't say really warm, but you know, wearing shorts and t-shirt. And I was saying, geez, I wish it was a little bit colder so I can wear all these clothes. Well, I got what I wished for. It just takes a while to get used to again because it's after the last 3 or 4 days, this is quite a bit different weather. But just like the fall. I've got things airing out.
The ground sheet's a bit wet, but it's not seeping through the tent. So I've just tied everything down just in case, except for the tent, which I'm going to keep an eye on. The bottom of the tent, by the head right here, it's a little bit, it's damp on the outside, but it's not wet on the inside. So I'll just let it dry for maybe an hour and then put it back. And when I put it back, I'll probably take the sleeping pad out and just check it out. I don't really think I have to do this, but it's just nice to see how it stands up to the weather. I mean, the important thing about a tent is placement. You want to try to put it somewhere where it's dry, not in a low spot where all the water's going to flow to. That's a mistake I had the first couple nights because it was nice and sunny. Right there, it's still wet, that spot. So that is not the spot to be when it's raining.
Well, this is quite the change from the last few days you've seen me lounging on the hammock. Like last time I was maybe just in a pair of shorts. To me, this is a cool day. Probably 18 to 20 degrees. Ooh, I'm a bit itchy. So I'm drinking the sake before the Baileys. I got 2 nights left, tonight and tomorrow. If anything, I'd rather be finishing the Baileys and the PJs last. Hallelujah, the sun's coming out. Oh, that feels so good. Starting to warm up now. I think it's gonna have to take some clothes off soon. Rod 360. It's amazing how a bit of sun can make you feel. Cloudy, gray, sad. Sunny, blue, happy. I had a couple of shots of sake too, so that also makes you happy. I had to take those river boots off. They're warm when you're just sitting around. I mean, they got neoprene inserts, so really you need to get them wet. Your feet will be warm, but they'll be wet. If you don't get them wet, your feet sweat, wet and sweat. I'm just wondering if somebody's going to come through here today, either one way or the other. Anyway, oh, that sun. Rod, you're a little wimp. Doesn't take much to make me happy. A little bit of sun, a bit of sake, maybe a fish. Anyway, enough of that. I want to share some wisdom with you. This Newfie named, well, a Newfoundlander, I guess that's the PC thing to say these days, named Justin Barbour, B-A-R-B-O-U-R. Last year, it could have been, yeah, I think it was last spring, summer, he hiked across Newfoundland with his dog. An amazing dog. I can't remember what the hell it is. It's some kind of Newfoundland water dog or something like that. I know he started in the snow. Oh yeah, so it must have been spring. And he did a lot of hiking, and he had a pack raft, and that's where I got the idea for the pack raft. I said, what the hell is that? I didn't, You know, when I first saw him hiking, he didn't have a boat, right? I didn't think he had a boat. You know, these things pack up. That's why they're called pack rafts. And I investigated it and I found the alpaca pack raft. He has a bigger version, I think. But anyway, that's not the wisdom. But I think it's a 10-part series on YouTube. He's a funny guy too, and it's amazing the things he goes through. He's out in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, he said something very prophetic. Prophetic? Hope I pronounced that right. And this is something that sticks with me and should stick with you. There is no such thing as bad weather. There is only inappropriate clothing. Did you hear that? So basically it rains. Oh, it's bad weather. No, it isn't. You're just not prepared for it. Oh, it's freezing. It's snowing. Oh, I'm cold. Well, that's not bad weather. It's weather. It's just weather. Okay, you think it's bad, but it's just weather. These things happen. It gets cold, it gets hot, it rains, it gets sunny, all these things. Now, because of what he was doing, it took him like 59, 60 days to do what he was doing. He got resupplied, Justin. I think maybe 3 times he had things organized. But talk about having to be prepared, because he really was in the middle of nowhere. I mean, me, I'm 18 miles from where I parked my car, but kilometers, but I'm only 8 or 9 kilometers till human habitation, possibly closer. But I know once I'm on Kukagami Lake, out of Little Kukagami Lake, there's cottages right there and there's a road. But he was literally in the middle of nowhere, and if he had problems, well, he had a Garmin inReach. He could always push the SOS button, but who knows how long it would take. One of the things that happened is he was in his pack boat with his dog. Amazing. This dog would sleep in his tent with him. The dog was happy as Larry to be outside. He'd be freezing cold and the dog was larking in the water. But anyway, he's going down a river with some rapids, and he's got all his gear in the pack boat. He's got his dog, he's got a shotgun. I think it was a shotgun, could have been a 22, in case of bars and things like that. And he capsizes. I don't know how he managed to hang on to his camera, but everything else was lashed down. And he comes up. The first thing he says is, I wish I could remember the name of his dog. The first thing he cared about is, where is my dog? He lost his shotgun on the bottom of the river, never got it back. He gets himself to shore, and he's figuring the worst. Something happened, his dog drowned. And he doesn't really care about his gear. And he's shouting, it's sad actually, he's shouting for his dog. I don't know how many minutes later, but on the other side of the river, there's this dog shaking off the water, wagging its tail, and said, that was so fun, let's go do it again. And I can imagine how he felt at that moment. Yeah, Justin Barbour, I think it is. And he's always doing outdoor stuff, but this is the series that really, it helped motivate me. He motivated me, and Joe Robinette kind of made me go out and try some of this stuff. But anyway, remember, the wisdom he imparted, I don't know where he got it from. Maybe it's a Newfoundlander saying, or it's just it's probably just one of those wisdom, the wise thing that's been passed down throughout the ages. Okay, there is no such thing as bad weather. There's only inappropriate clothing. So if you're prepared, got no problem. If you're not prepared, you're going to be a sad camper. You're not going to be a happy camper, and you're going to be miserable, and it could be life-threatening. Okay? So remember that word of wisdom.